Hello there, my name's Ed from Hutch Architecture. Often when I meet new clients who are looking to develop their homes, to renovate, to extend or to build a new home, they're pretty unclear of the process. They've often spent lots of time researching, got lots of nice images from Pinterest, Instagram, various other sources, but they're not sure where to go first. They're not sure of the overall process, and they come to me looking for some clarity. What I've done is I've put together a document that outlines the 4 main phases in designing and building your home, including an outline of the approvals that are generally required and each step along the way. Hutch Architecture specialises in the design of residential properties, be they single dwellings, multi-residential, dual occupancy or extensions to your home. We have over 30 years experience and can guide you through the process from start to finish. As I mentioned, as your architect, I see myself as your guide, offering advice, providing a sounding board, and offering suggestions on how to move forward. The overall process of designing and building your home is quite complex. There are a lot of steps. There's a lot more involved as an architect than simply drawing plans. And I've broken these down into 4 major phases. Phase 1 being the feasibility phase. Phase 2 being design development, Phase 3 is detail design, and Phase 4 is construction. In this chart, I've highlighted those 4 phases that I just discussed, moving from left to right. Phase 1 is arguably the most important phase, and we need to ensure that we get this right. Phase 1 is feasibility. It's about making sure that your requirements can be satisfied on your property and importantly within your budget. Firstly, we need to get to know you. We need to understand what you want to achieve. We need to understand what your home includes, what it looks like, what it feels like. What are your concerns? What are you excited about? What's your budget? All these things are very important to ensure that your home meets your requirement. I often say that I'm pretty sure I can design any home. However, if the home doesn't match your requirements, then it's a little bit pointless. Once we've got to know you, got to know what you require, we then come and visit the property, assess existing features, look at any constraints, any things that might direct the design in a certain direction. From there, we commence what I call the feasibility design process. This is very early stage design where we look at some basic plans to see if we can achieve what you want. We'll review the council requirements, we'll look at the context, look at your neighbours, look what's happening around you, look for where there might be any views, any privacy concerns, and put together some very simple plans that hopefully demonstrate what you can achieve. Once we put together these plans, we can then get some pricing from some local builders or a quantity surveying consultant, and hopefully this shows that what you want to achieve can be achieved within your budget. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it shows us that actually your requirements don't align with your budget, and then that gives you knowledge to be able to move forward. You could be selling the home, or you may change your requirements. But hopefully we can demonstrate that you can achieve what you want within your budget. Down the bottom you will see I've got some approximate time frames for each phase. So you'll see down the bottom we have 3 to 4 weeks for this feasibility stage. You'll also see that I've outlined other consultants that may be required. I mentioned a quantity surveyor who's a consultant that can assist with estimating the cost of construction. That is one that we may use in this stage. We may also use some local builders. Once we've established that the project is feasible, so it does satisfy your requirements within the budget and within the council requirements for the area, we then move forward into Phase 2. Phase 2 is design development, and this is where we really get into some of the interesting design elements of your home. So as we move along through the entire process, as you can imagine, we're adding in more detail. providing more clarity on what your home will look like, we move into step 2.1, which is concept design. This is where we take on board your feedback from the feasibility stage, we modify the planning, we make things more accurate, more close to your actual requirements, but we also start to look at the three-dimensional form and materials. So using our modelling software, we will model the home and let you see it in a three-dimensional form. We'll apply materials, you really get to have a good look and feel at the home. We'll even provide you with a copy of that model in a format that you can look at in your own space, at home, on a phone, or on your PC. So once we've completed the concept development and we're comfortable with how the home is looking, we then move into development approval. Development approval is the first major approval that you require. This requires a submission to council, and we need to demonstrate that we satisfy the requirements of council's design guidelines. We pull together the required documents which are required by council. We make a submission to council on your behalf, and then the assessment process is undertaken by council. Again, down the bottom are an indication of consultants that may be required, surveyors, potentially structural engineer, maybe heritage consultant if you're in a heritage area, and an outline of timeframes: 2 to 4 weeks for concept, 4 to 6 weeks to pull the development application together, and then the development application assessment, can take 12 to 16 weeks. It's a little bit hard to say, depends on council, depends on various factors. At the end of phase 2, we have your development approval. This is the first major approval. It basically says, yes, you can build your home. However, there is more information required. We also need what is called a construction certificate. In order to achieve a construction certificate, we need to produce documents that demonstrate that we comply with the Building Code of Australia. The Building Code of Australia deals with safety and energy efficiency primarily. So we have to pull together documents, drawings, specifications, schedules, and other consultant information such as structural engineers' drawings that demonstrate that the design complies with the building code in terms of safety. Once we've completed that documentation, we submit it to a private certifier. We don't need to go to council for this next approval. They assess the documentation, provide any feedback, and once they're happy with the information, we receive the construction certificate. This, generally speaking, is the final approval that you require to build your home. However, the construction certificate only deals with the energy efficiency and really the safety and structural adequacy of the building. It's not concerned with really the things that you're more concerned about as a homeowner, so the finishes internally, how components of the building go together, how your kitchen operates, the components of your kitchen and bathrooms. So then we have a step called design completion. In this stage, we basically pull together all the additional documents that demonstrate how the house should be built. So to say, drawing your kitchen, what cupboards do you have, what drawers do you have, what are your handles, what colour are the cabinets, your floor finishes, your paint finishes, your doors, door handles, basically everything that you see and touch within your home needs to be described to somebody. As you can imagine, you're going to ask a builder to build it for you. There's a simple rule of thumb. If we don't tell a builder what we want, then a builder can provide what they want. They have to provide door handles, but they will provide the most simple, basic and economical door handle. That means you don't get much control in what you're going to get. and I'm sure that most people would like to have some control in the finishes and the elements that you'll see in your home. So following design completion, we now have a full set of documents, drawings and specifications that describe how the home is to be built. This is a very detailed set of documents that allows you to call for tenders. So by call for tenders, I mean go to 2 or 3 builders and ask them for a price. Now, because we've pulled together a detailed set of documents that describes everything, when you get these prices, you can be confident that each builder is pricing the same thing. We don't have one builder that's pricing on gold-plated taps, the other one that's pricing on very basic cheap taps. Same with every single component of the building. So moving into phase 4, which is the tendering, the pricing that I just mentioned. So getting pricing from builders. Very important to get some competitive pricing, test it with 2 or 3 builders, then select your builder. In phase 4, the construction stage, as an architect, I would generally like to recommend a type of building contract for you. A building contract really apportions risk. Any contract that a builder puts forward will naturally apportion more risk to you than the builder. There are several contracts that I like to work with that have an equal amount of risk apportioned between the builder and the owner. As an architect, I assist in pulling together the contracts, making sure the contracts are referencing the correct documents, make sure that all the requirements of the contract are satisfied. From there, we can then move into step 4.2, the construction phase. I guess something to bear in mind when you're building a one-off house, whether that be an extension or a new build or a renovation. This project, this home, this build has never been carried out before, and there will still be decisions to be made that impact the outcome, the quality of the home during construction. There'll be little decisions to be made, there'll be things that are uncovered that aren't quite as expected, and it's important to make sure that those elements are reviewed and the design integrity is maintained all the way through. That's why I offer a service of being involved all the way through from the start of construction to the end. Can also administer the contract, meaning we can be the intermediary between the builder and yourself. Any questions can come to me and be responded by me. That takes some pressure off, takes some of the emotion off some of those decisions during construction, and gives you an independent, impartial view on some of the decisions to be made, and also in terms of certifying the builder's invoices. That's often required to have an independent person certify that the invoice amounts do match the progress on site. So once we've gone through construction, we reach the end, you're able to move in. There is often what we call a defects liability period, where the builder is liable for any defects that arise over a certain period of time. Again, as an architect, I can be involved in that process. It's very important to make sure that you monitor any defects, and then the builder can rectify them at the end. So I hope that gives you an outline and a bit of clarity on the process. As I say, it is quite a lengthy process, but I guess what's important is to take the first step and work out whether your project is actually feasible, whether it can meet your requirements. We do offer a free 30-minute consultation where we can help talk through the specifics of your home and your requirements, answer any questions, and then guide you through the next steps of the project. Thank you for listening. I hope this was interesting and useful for you. Speak soon. Thank you.